Let me first of all commend the chairman of the Joint Committee and members of the Joint Committee for a job well done. I'm really delighted by the work they've done. I'm also very delighted that the non-oil revenue that has accrued to the government is really substantial, thereby making up for the shortfall in oil revenue. In fact, this is what we've been saying year in, year out, that more concentration should be on the diversification of our economy. Let us not rely on oil revenue alone. This nation is endowed with several avenues of getting in revenue to the government, solid minerals, and other areas, agriculture, and so on and so forth. So what is happening now in terms of our revenue accrual is something that is really in tandem with our zeal to boost our economy. Also, the projections that is clearly stated here is something that we need to be happy about. But as said by a speaker before me, we should do everything within our power to make sure that these sound and encouraging projections are pursued and get implemented. Like the GDP growth rate is expected to be at 4.4% in 2025 and 5.5% by 2026, and which is going to be driven by investments in infrastructure and agriculture. This is a welcome, and telecommunications. This is a welcome scenario. But as I said earlier, and emphasized by a speaker before me, by Senator Abdullahi Yahya, we should do everything possible to make sure that these projections are not just something that is just written. But I'm really optimistic by the posture of the government. By the posture of the government, I'm sure this projection will be realized, because the government is very, very serious and up and doing to make sure the economy is reshaped for the better. So I'm very, very much optimistic, and even the fact that these projections are being made, it shows that the zeal is there, the political will is there to bring about a sound economic development occasioned by growth in our GDP and so on and so forth. That said, I also want to point out the fact that the oil production, it is expected that in 2025 is going to be 2.12 million barrels per day, even though there's a mix-up. When you in the summary, it is stated as 2.06 billion barrels per day. I think there's a mix-up, but whatever is the case, I think that is a very good projection. I mean, it's an optimism, and it shows that the government is determined to really bring about security in the Niger Delta. Is working very hard to make sure that those who are stealing our crude do no longer have that free chance to do whatever they want to do, the latitude to do what they want to do with reckless abandon. So it shows that the government is up and doing in making sure that security is brought to bear in the creeks of the Niger Delta, is brought to bear in making sure that those who steal our oil with reckless abandon do no longer have the free day to do so. So I think it's a wonderful projection, and the necessary committees, the appropriate committees, should increase the tempo of their oversight by putting those responsible on their toes. I know the government executive is doing very well by working with the security agencies and proper oversight over them, but the National Assembly committees, committee on army, on petroleum, on navy, or whatever, every committee that has oversight jurisdiction in making sure that such things will not happen should be on their toes, so that these ugly incidents of crude debt and what have you should stop. Otherwise, we'll not be able to actualize this projection. As well, okay, I think overall, all the projections are okay. The total expenditure, which has been increased, against what we had last year, is also encouraging, even though Naira has been devalued, and so we had expected that we have an increase in terms of our expenditure to take care of various developmental projects that are ongoing. The government is determined to change the landscape of our infrastructure so that we have what it takes to develop our economy. Yes, for 7.9 trillion, it's okay. It's okay. It's not too it's not too ambitious. Not too ambitious, but moderate. So we should all work together. We will not say the executive should work together to actualize our revenue projection. It's something that rests on our shoulders as a government. We also have to up our game in making sure that we do the necessary oversight. Committee on Finance, Committee on all the committees, pursue those revenue earning agencies and make sure there's no leakage that occurs at all. Otherwise, we'll not be able to achieve what we want to achieve. Chairman Banking, you also have a duty to play in this regard. All of us should rally together to make sure that we work together as a government to actualize, what is put here, the projections that are encapsulated in this report. Thank you, Mr. President.
The Senator Ningi.